good afternoon and welcome back to Portugal, everybody. It's round 6 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Portugal, and we are at the circuit of Águeda. My name is Paul Malin. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for the second half of our broadcast here. We've already seen MX2 and MXGP race 1. Up next is the second race for MX2, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. The first one was an absolute cracker. Fantastic part of the world we are in as well. Just over an hour south of Porto in the northwest of the country. About 15 minutes to the west, we have the coast. Aveiro is a beautiful part of the world, but so too where we are now. A wonderful day as well. A lot of sights and sounds, and it really is a colourful place where we are visiting this weekend for round 6 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. The MX2 riders just coming towards the end of their sighting lap. Temperatures still hovering around 20 degrees. And this circuit, about 1,630 meters long, it's had some work on it during the break. A little bit of water has gone down as well. But in a moment, we will see the highlights from MX2 race 1. There's your first look at the circuit if you are joining us for the first time. But let's take a look at those highlights now from MX2 race 1. Over on the right-hand side as we look at it, gate number 3, Jorge Prado. He was the guy that grabbed his 7th foxhole shot of the year. Darian Sinai on the Kawasaki from the US fell, though, from second. He got clobbered by Adam Sterry, and that seriously halted his progress. Roan Van De Moosdijk also down in that first turn crash, but it was Prado who led from Kjer, Prado and Mitch Evans of Australia, with Thomas Olsen in 5th as Sinai straightened out his machine. Prado led, but that move from Jacobi got him into 2nd. Olsen then had to put the squeeze on the Italian Kjer to move himself into 3rd. Ika Larinaga had the first of what were 2 crashes on this downhill. He was in 9th position on his Marchetti Racing KTM, and Kjer out of 4th on his Yamaha SM Action MC Migliori machine. A possible dislocated collarbone or shoulder for the Italian. His teammate, though, Maxime Renault, charged his way through to an eventual 9th place. As the 2 Hondas, Mitch Evans on the 43, eventually got the better of the 172, Matthijs Boeremé, to come home in 4th place, but that pass was for 5th, because a little further up the field, ahead of these guys, Kjer also muscled his way into contention on his Monstrenich Kjer Yamaha. Jacobi was in 2nd on the FNH Kawasaki. He was pursued by Thomas Olsen. And then in the final 2 laps, Olsen eventually did find a way through. At the same time, Kjer made that move on Boeremé to move himself up into 4th place. This was Evans on Boeremé. Jacobi, though, couldn't resist the threat of Olsen any longer. It took him about 4 attempts, but eventually went through, and Jacobi fell on the final lap from 3rd to 7th. That promoted Kjer to 3rd, Evans to 4th, Boeremé to 5th, but it was a 9th win for Jorge Prado. Right, let's go down to the grid. A few moments ago, Lisa Leyland caught up with a couple of guests. One of them, Mitch Harrison from Bud Racing Kawasaki. Let's hear what the American has to say.
Welcome to the start of the second MX2 race of the day. Now, I'd like to speak to American rider Mitch Harrison. Mitch, this is actually your 3rd GP, isn't it, this year? You're over from the US, you're here in Europe. Firstly, just tell us, how's that transition been? How's the culture shock been for you, I guess?
The culture shock's been very nice. You know, it's beautiful over here. I enjoy it a lot. But, you know, racing's a lot different. It's a lot about the start, which I haven't been getting. The only start I got was the first qualifying race at the Trentino, and that was a 5th. So I just need to get a good start. These guys are fast. It's a deep field. It's not like America. There's not big gaps. Everybody's on each other. So I just have to get a good start, and then I'll be up front.
That first race, you were 13th, I think. You finished in 13th. Tell us about it. Tell us about this track here. Does it suit your riding style?
I think this is one of the more American tracks that I've ridden so far. It definitely suits my style. It's fast. It flows really well. You got to open up your corners a lot. The first moto, you know, got like last on the start, spun off the gate. Tried to work my way back up and made a couple mistakes, but Yeah, so 13th was it for there. So this race, look for a good start and ride well again.
Best of luck, Mitch. Thank you. Now, we are very lucky to have another special guest here at MXGP. It's Mastic Soul.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Hopefully I pronounced the name right.
You pronounced it well, yeah.
So firstly, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I'm actually, I'm a producer, composer, musician, DJ, and obviously Anthony, which is one of the world champions, he invited me to see the actual race. It's my first time, and it's also very exciting because I also ride. Obviously, not like these guys, but on the weekends I ride my bike whenever I can, and it's amazing to see this. It's like mind-blowing. When you see this live, it's a completely different game. Yeah.
What are your first impressions of the sport? Like being out there on a dirt bike? Anything maybe you will try in the future?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, to be honest, I can appreciate, the sport. I think it's pretty amazing. I mean, these guys, they got guts. Do you know what I mean? To be able to do this, you must be really well prepared. And, wow, it's actually mind-blowing to see up and close, to see what these guys are doing with two wheels. And it's, wow, man. I mean, I wouldn't do it personally, man. I mean, good luck to them. I appreciate it, but no thanks.
You'll stick to the DJing?
I just stick to the music, man. That's it.
And like you said, you are actually friends with our MXGP points leader, Tony Cairoli, as well, aren't you? How do you know Tony?
Because he's a fan of my music. Right. And I think he was introduced to my music about a couple of years ago. A song of mine which was really popular. And, all of them were singing the song and at the competitions and stuff, and we get to meet, and when you start from there, that's how it goes,
But one more question, can I actually get free tickets to one of your gigs?
Of course, yeah, you can go backstage, have some drinks. You got to be ready for the drinks, though.
Oh, okay, it's on. So I get VIP tickets to your event then. 100%. Fantastic, you heard it here first. Well, have a great day, and it's fantastic to have you here.
Thank you, enjoy, thank you.
Okay, good luck to all the guys here. It's time for MX2 Race 2.
A great crowd in here today for round 6 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Portugal. We are at Agada. We just saw the highlights a moment ago from MX2. This is how the top 5 look now coming into race 2. A slight change because Olsen still leads. Prado is getting closer in second. Jacobi still third. Kjer's fourth. But Tom Vial moves into 5th at the expense of Ben Watson, who finished 18th in race 1. And Watson just struggled in the first turn yesterday in qualifying. Didn't make a great start in the first race either. And the Brit on the Yamaha, well, that was a long race for him. There's Jorge Prado. He is closing in on the championship lead. It was 7 points, the gap between him and this guy here, Thomas Olsen, who still has that championship lead. It's now down to 4 points coming into race 2. Here's how the riders go to the line, though. This based on the qualifying results from yesterday. Thomas Olsen on pole for the 4th time this year. He'll go to the line first ahead of Jacobi, Prado, Evans, Guarame, Roan Van De Moosdijk, Brian Moreau, Kjer. Not sure if he's starting, actually. We'll keep an eye out for him, but I don't think so after that crash in race 1. Mitchell Harrison down in 18th. He'll be looking for a better start than he got in the qualifying race and also in the race itself, but he did pick up 13th for his 2nd point scoring ride since he's been here in Europe. The first time was Trentino, where he got a 17th in race 2 that day, 13th in race 1 here, moves himself up into 28th. There's Henry Jacobi. How unlucky was he? Crashed on the final lap of race 1 when he was in 3rd place behind Thomas Olsen, left him down in 7th place. He'll need to stay focused and regain that composure, but the start's probably going to come from over on the right-hand side, as they have done pretty much all weekend long, and as they normally do here. It's a tight first turn, it's just past maybe around about 100 degrees uphill through a left-hander, so they do have access to that rear brake pedal. There's the 225, Brian Moreau, teammate to Mitchell Harrison at Bud Racing Kawasaki. He came home in 11th, his best result of the season in MX2. Got hurt in Argentina, slowly been making his way back to fitness. But it looks like we are under starters' orders here. There's Mitch Evans on the 43, the Fly Racing board. 15-second board goes up for the 2nd time and final time for MX2. Who will it be that wins this 2nd race? 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Here we are in Portugal, the gate about to go now. Mitch Evans gets a good start, but it's Prado once again, and riders go down in the first turn. and at the back as well. But it looked like it was Prado that grabbed the foxhole shot there. We'll need a replay of the start. Is that Evans down? No, it's possibly Pichon. Because there's Evans taking over the lead and taking the 61 of Jorge Prado by surprise. A heavily watered track in the break. Obviously, it's a warm day here. It's been a bit breezy as well, but a little bit of water lane on the track. So goggles and visibility are going to be a nightmare for the riders then. Pulling down, so great to see the 747 and Michele Cherblin on the line. Here he is coming into land now in yellow in what, 4th place. So maybe more of a knock rather than a dislocation after that crash in race 1. There he is, splitting the two F&H Kawasaki's apart. But it's Evans who leads the way from the 61 of Jorge Prado. So Honda 114 Motorsports rider from Australia, riding for the French-based team for Olivier Lancelot, former world champion in WMX. Just needs to be careful here, because obviously you can see how slick and wet these conditions are. A lot of water on track. He is, as we say, the guinea pig. He's the one that's going to be hitting these lines first at speed. One thing doing a slight lap, but it's a whole new ball game when you're having to attack the track, when you're leading the race and trying to establish a lead. Jumps in Longbow into the final corner. Evans it is who's going to lead the way for Honda 114 Motorsports. Jorge Prado is in 2nd position. Over the line behind them is Henry Jacobi in 3rd. 4th, Michele Cherblin. 5th will be Roan Van De Moosdijk. Then Andrea Zanotti. Sanai in the US is 7th. Maxime Renault is 8th. 9th, Brent Van Donning. 10, Bas Barson. 11, Osman. 12, Burgess. 13, your championship leader, Olsen. He's got a lot of work to do, just ahead of Mitchell Harrison. So the American on the Bud Racing Kawasaki might be well positioned there to try and follow the number 19 of Olsen through. Walsh is 15. Alexander Brown, wildcard in this weekend, is in 16. Diogo Grassa, Tom Biel, Morgan Lasiado, Adam Sterry, your top 20. But Iago Geertz, I think it was, who fell going into the first turn at the start of the race. Maybe we'll get a replay of that. It looked like he may have tagged bars, and instead of turning left, he went right. Where is Watson? Watson is out of the points as well. So too Guarame, who finished 5th in race 1. So a lot of guys. Oh, and there is Iago Geertz. He's coming in for goggles. Utilises the goggle lane at the end of pit lane. Makes that process all the more quicker and safer for everybody down there in the work area, because it's a separate zone all for themselves. Mechanics can't be in that zone. They have to be the other side of the board. But there's the 931 going through of Andrea Zanotti. He's in, where is he actually? In 6th position. Oh, Jed Beaton is in. So the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, Jed Beaton. There were a few crashes going into the first turn, around the first turn, and at the top of the hill in turn 2. I'm sure we'll get a view of those when this opening lap or so settles down. But there's Cherblin, right. Here is, there's Olsen. Wow, talk about the demolition derby. Matthijs Boirame at the bottom of that. And then at the top of the hill, turn 2, there was more drama as well. Zach Pichon getting caught out. He's now in 32nd place. Here is Thomas Olsen over the line now. Where is he? He's in 10th position. Got to do all he can to try and peg back the guy ahead of him, Jorge Prado, who is in 2nd position. But this guy here, number 43, Mitch Evans, from Australia on the Honda 114 Motorsports squad. First time he's led a race in MX2 in his rookie season. 53.8, 1/10 quicker. Guarame comes in for goggles as well. Takes a quick look over his shoulder. Rejoins the racetrack. But this is a gap between 1st and 2nd. Evans had a shot now. There is Prado. Behind them is Henry Jacobi in 3rd place. Roan Van De Moosdijk, his teammate at F&H Kawasaki, is 4th. Michele Cherblin, bouncing back after that huge crash in race 1, is in 5th place for Yamaha SM Action MC Migliori. Andrea Zanotti is now being passed by Cherbelin's teammate, Maxime Renault, who now moves to 6th ahead of Zanotti. So Zanotti on the Marchetti Racing KTM gets bumped down to 7th, up to 8th is Brent Van Donning. 9th now is Olsen, and 10th is Darian Sanai on the Bikit DRT Kawasaki, the American. Up in the thick of it this time around. Oh, Prado testing the boundaries of adhesion in that left-hand turn, slammed the berm, almost came to grief. His mechanic gives him the vital information even this early on. A couple of hand gestures, maybe sort of gesticulating that we need to be smoother in the corners. 2 laps complete. It's Prado who sets the fastest lap of the race by 4/10 over the guy ahead of him, Mitch Evans, at the top of the screen. That's the battle for the lead. Then a slight gap back to Jacobi in 3rd. He in turn has a nice lead over his teammate Roan Van De Moosdijk in 4th position. The circuit now just starting to settle down. It was a little bit greasy at the start of the race, catching 1 or 2 riders out. Can Evans pick up his first race win in MX2? Olsen now up into 8th place, but we will see a championship lead change hands if it stays like this, to the tune of about 5 points. Because this guy here, Prado, who has taken 9 race wins so far, has won every race of the year that he has entered. He missed round 2 at Matterley Base in Great Britain. Other than that, he has picked up every race win of the year so far, even in the mud in Mantova last week in Italy. Here is Olsen, looking to go past the 32 of Roan Van De Moosdijk on the Honda Red Motor Motor machine. He goes long, Olsen goes short to the inside. These two are fighting over 7th place now. Sinai has found his way past Zanotti, gets himself into 9th. Just a couple of positions behind these guys. But with 23 minutes plus 2 to go, Evans leads Prado by just over a second. "23 minutes plus 2 to go then. Here is Thomas Olsen, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider. Launching downhill. He's had a face full of dirt. Probably utilised half his tear-off quota, just trying to get on terms with the guys ahead of him. Great to see Roan Van De Moosdijk up there as well. The Honda Red Motor Motor has had a tough time. He's 19th in the championship before we came here. He got a 9th in race 2 at Trentino. Here he is currently in 7th. What will be his best result of the year so far. Henry Jacobi, though, sets the fastest lap of the race this time around on lap 3 at 1:52.7. Quicker than Prado, ahead of him in 2nd, and 2/10 quicker than your race leader, Mitch Evans. Coming into land, Thomas Olsen, just there, number 19, over on the left-hand side. Still fighting for that championship leader's red plate. Here he goes up the inside of the Belgian, takes away the position from Roan Van De Moosdijk, moves into 7th place, and the guy ahead of him is Maxime Renault, the young French rider, number 959 on the Yamaha. Here's Jacobi, Roan Van De Moosdijk, his teammate actually in 4th place. And he picked up the Foxhole shot, first ever for him then. So we'll get to see him at the end of the race. Difficult race conditions here this weekend, a muddy start to race 2. Everything looks like it's settling down, but the track starting to get chewed up more and more so. Prado was about 1.5 seconds behind Evans, the race leader, at the end of that 3rd lap. This is lap 4 that we're working our way towards now, 3 or 4 corners to go. Evans still leads, but you can see the intent of this guy here. Prado. What about Jacobi here? He was the fastest man on track last time around, 3.9 off the lead. Mark Deruva telling him all good. That's his trainer and coach. Is he getting closer? 3 points. Well, he's gained a bit of time, but Prado sets the fastest lap this time, and he's all over the back of Evans now as we embark on lap 5. So Evans, Prado, Jacobi, Van De Moosdijk, Chervelin, your top 5 here in the early stages of race 2. Claudio Di Carli looks on intently as his rider here, number 61, Jorge Prado, regains a little bit of momentum, gets back onto the rear wheel of the Honda 114 Motorsport rider ahead of him, number 43, Mitch Evans of Australia, who has led every single one of these 4 laps, bar 1 or 2 corners in MX2 Race 2. It's round 6 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Portugal here at Agada. Livy Lanslow just running through the infield section of the racetrack there, just trying to get a vantage point to see as much of the racetrack as she can, as she keeps an eye on her rider here at the top of the field and the top of the hill as Prado tries to muscle aside the number 43 Aussie. He looks over his shoulder. He sees the new championship leader as it stands right now alongside him. And a rider who is yet to be defeated heads up in a race this year. And Prado gets good momentum, good drive through the waves. Takes over the lead at the bottom of the hill. Oh, and a bubble there for the 43 of Evans. Just seemed to lock up. And that would have handed a slight advantage to the number 61 of Prado as well. Back marker cruising to the outside, but it's Prado who will take the race lead at the end of lap 5. There's Chervelin, the 747, and his teammate, Maxime Renault, and behind them they have Thomas Olsen. So 2 Yamaha SM Action MC Migliori boys here in yellow. Renault looks across, sees his teammate there. Olsen looking to spoil the party. In fact, it's Chervelin, the lead Yamaha rider here in 5th place. Renault is in 6th. The guy in the white machine there for Husqvarna, Thomas Olsen, is in 7th. He will lose his championship leader's red plate here in Portugal. Unless he can get to 2nd place, of course. He has a 4-point lead coming into this race. It's a bit bigger than that now, right now, but he's getting ready to pick up a couple of Yamahas here. They need to work together, but Chervelin under attack from his young teammate there, Maxime Renault, who looks to dive down the inside of the Italian. Oh, how close do you want it, boys? Olsen has to go for broke here, just to minimize that gap, minimize the risk. At the moment, if the flag were to go out now with Olsen here in 6th place, 7th place, he would be on 243 points, 7 down on the new championship leader, Jorge Prado. Oh, we've got waved yellows. Riders probably wouldn't have seen that until the very last minute. Man down, it's one of the Kjer Yamahas, and who was that also in the corner with him? Might have been fascinating here, just looking on the screen. Watson is in 19th place, so 18th in race 1, 19th in race 2. While that was all going on, Thomas Olsen has split the 2 Yamahas. And looking to go around the outside of the other one, and does so successfully. So finds his way past Chervelin in the final corner, moves up into 5th place. Is this going to turn out to be one of those champions rides? Jed Beaton out. He came in once earlier for some running repairs. He's obviously not happy with the situation there. Guessing he went down in the 1st or 2nd corner. Not the weekend. The 2nd of the Australians lining up on the great gate would have wanted here this weekend. So all changed then. Prado, your new leader, by 1.4 seconds over Mitch Evans. 3rd is Jacobi on the Kawasaki. His teammate Roan Van De Moosdijk is 4th, so the 29 and the 39. And then the 19 of Olsen is 5th. And Kjer, who was over on that far side in the corner just before the wave section. His bike obviously got landed on, and maybe Vasson in that little exchange as well. So the rider who was 4th in the championship, just 1 point behind Henry Jacobi, may lose 4th in the championship to Tom Vial. Depends where Vial is in the race. Well, he's in 13th place. He's only going to be picking up 8 points. So he's going to be safe there in 4th place, but he's losing ground to Jacobi, Olsen and Prado in the championship chase. Watson is going to drop to 7th with this performance from Mitch Evans. He will now move up into 6th place in the championship with potential 22 points. And Prado is not getting away from the Honda rider. We saw this in the qualifying race yesterday where Prado struggled with the intensity of Thomas Olsen and Henry Jacobi, which left the Spaniard in third place. And Evans, I think, would have looked at that and just said, you know what, maybe that is the key to beating Prado. Get all over the back of him, don't let him switch off, don't let him relax, and just harass and harry him. Try and force him into a mistake. But with 14.5 plus 2 to go, this is a battle for the lead. Prado still under attack from Evans. The gap is coming down. It was just over a second as they hit the line at the end of lap 7. We're now on lap 8. Prado has to maintain his composure. Never been a problem in the past. You don't get 9 race wins in a row without being cool, calm and collected. Mitch Evans, career best second at the moment. If he stays here, he's looking at a win though. He's looking at the bigger picture. 14 minutes plus 2 to go. In through the waves. Prado very efficient through there. Henry Jacobi is still third. Roan Van De Moosdijk 4. Olsen is 5th. 6th Chervelin. Renault 7. Van Donnick 8. Sanai 9. Puches is 10. And up to 11th now is Mitch Harrison. The gap between these two and Jacobi around about 3.5, 4 seconds at the start of the lap. Have they done enough to break free from the German again? The gap was 1.047 at the end of lap 7. It's now 1.049. So 0.02 of a second slower Mitch Evans was. So absolutely nothing in it as Prado struggles to leave Evans in his wake. Here is Olsen. He is still in 5th place. He set his own personal best last time around and now crosses the line to set the fastest lap of the race. A 1:51.9, a full second quicker than Prado and Evans, and 3 seconds quicker than Jacobi in 3rd. So he's got, well, he's got 12 seconds to make up to Roan Van De Moosdijk, who currently sits there in 4th place ahead of him. He'll be relying on fatigue from the number 39, just behind this guy here, Jacobi. But there's still a long way to go in race terms. Just over 12 minutes plus 2 laps to go here. Portugal, the MXGP of Portugal, Agada. Round 6 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. This is Henry Jacobi. He's in 3rd place. Roan Van De Moosdijk for F&H Kawasaki. His teammate is behind him in 4th. And Thomas Olsen, the championship leader before we came into this weekend, but who will lose that championship lead if he stays where he is. He is closing in on him in 5th position because he just set the fastest lap of the race. Michele Chervelin is 6th, Maxime Renault 7th, Brent Van Donnick 8th, Darian Sanai on the bike at DRT Kawasaki from the US is 9th, and David Puch is 10th. Mitch Harrison has just found his way past the factory KTM of Tom Bial to move into 11th place. That'll be his best finish in an MX2 race so far since he made it here round 4. Scored a 17th in the first race in in the second race in Trentino after a good qualifying that weekend, but he's found it tough. Race 1 here, he was 13th, and now he's in 11th, so he did say, when Lisa Leyland spoke to him at the start of the race, that if he gets a good start, that's where it needs to be for him. Evans still on the rear wheel of Jorge Prado. Those two still separated by just over a second. This is a battle for the lead here. Red Bull KTM and Warame, who went upside down at turn 1, decides to call it a day. He was in 24th position, but I'm guessing that he's a bit battered and bruised from that crash in race 1. There's Evans, still latched onto the rear wheel of that KTM of your race leader here. The Spaniard, who has a lot of support from the travelling fans just over the border in Spain. By comparison, the 43 of Mitch Evans having to create a whole new fan base since his time here in Europe. over on the far side of the... Yeah, Vassen, he's in. He was also in that little altercation with Jacobi a couple of laps ago that saw the Monster Energy Kjer Yamaha rider out. So adding to the list of retirees in this second race. Bas Vassen for Hitachi, KTM UK, fueled by Milwaukee. Nathaniel Bress also out. Jed Beaton out. Gustavo Pessoa looks like he's pulled it a day as well. Here is Jacobi. His gap to the lead was 5.5 at the end of lap 9. About to hit the line any moment now. Here's his young teammate, Roan Van De Moosdijk. Olsen was closing in on him last time around. Jacobi, 4.6 seconds. He sets his fastest lap of the race, 52.0. Roan Van De Moosdijk, a 53.4, a 52.4. So all of a sudden, Olsen is getting closer, but he's still got 10 seconds to make up to the young Dutch kid here, whose emphasis will be back on the European 250 Championship next week in France, in Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Vial has found his way past Mitch Harrison. So he moves back into 11th, Harrison back down to 12th. Dylan Walsh from 16th, though, has fallen down to 21st. Here's how. Oh, he goes off track. Is he on his own? No, two riders. Wow, is that Watson and Walsh? I think it is. So Dylan Walsh left in a crumpled heap at the bottom of one of the hills. Maybe got forced wide there by Ben Watson. Might have been Osland, actually, because those two were locked together. Oh, no, Walsh it was, for sure, the 53. So Osland now on the back of the other of the Revo Husqvarnas. Alvin Osland in 15th place, Ben Watson in 16th. Morgan Masiado has just been passed for 17th by Brian Moreau. Alexander Brown, wow, that would be a story, wouldn't it? Alexander Brown, 141. He's in 19th place at the moment. He's in for the injured Conrad Muse at Hitachi KTM UK. Bas Vassen, the lead rider in that team, is out. And Alexander Brown, his mechanic BC, just said to him, you know what, just go out, have fun, give me 100%. Until you can't do any more, and we'll see how it pans out. He is in a point-scoring ride in 19th place right now. His first attempt at an MX2 Grand Prix. So the rider from Scotland didn't get on the bike until Saturday morning, first lap of practice. He got the call on Monday to say, what are you doing this weekend? Nothing was the answer. Well, pack your bags, you're going to Portugal, was the reply. Here's the two Yamaha SM Action MC Miliori riders. Chervelin and Renault. They're in 6th and 7th position. They've lost about 10 seconds to Olsen when he charged through earlier in the race. But with 6.5 to go, these two battling out for team pride. Maxime Renault then. Well, trying to duff up his more experienced teammate as he looks to go after a 6th place finish here. And he might, well, I thought they were going to bang bars and touch wheels there. Camera trickery at its best again. Renault dogging his teammate though, isn't he? Like a training ride for these two. Meanwhile, up front, Mitch Evans has set his best lap of the race at 52.5. About 8 tenths quicker than Prado. That gap's still about 1.4 seconds. Here they are over the line again. 1.04 now. And Jacobi, 3 seconds off the lead. He's going to be making this a three-way battle for the lead any moment now. We go wide, and if you watch, there is Jacobi at the top of the hill. He will see these two. He'll get a sniff of the Spaniard and the Aussie. So we've got two riders here, potentially, going for a career race win, first career win. Prado, if he stays where he is, 2 wins for him. Evans would be 4th and 2nd on the podium, 4th with 40 points. Olsen will be on the podium, 38, but he will lose 12 points this weekend. He will lose his championship lead. Prado will be on 250. Olsen will drop to 245. Evans and Jacobi, though, might have a say in the final outcome of this Portuguese Grand Prix here in Agata. Just under 5 minutes to go now, plus 2. Behind them, Roan Van De Moosdijk. He's still there in 4th. Olsen 5th. Ooh, I tell you what, he's within 6 seconds of Roan Van De Moosdijk as well. So 25 points for a win, 22 for 2nd. We'll do all that in a moment. Let's just keep an eye on this battle here, because all of a sudden Prado looks like he has found another gear and starting to pull clear of Evans now. Oh, 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go here. MX2 race 2, we are in Portugal at Agata, the MXGP of Portugal, and Jorge Prado all of a sudden opens up his gap over Mitch Evans to the tune of 2.9 seconds. A 52.7 compared to a 54.6, but look at Jacobi. He is all over the back of the Australian now. And this is for 2nd. He did that in the qualifying race to Jorge Prado, and he uses it to similar effect. More ruthless, in fact, to find his way past the Australian Mitch Evans. He's only got one thing on his mind now then, as Jacobi. He wants to go back after Prado. He has unfinished business here. He wants to go after the race win. Can he do it, though? 53.2 as he was on the back of Evans. Evans looking to settle now. He will still be in 3rd, even though he loses a couple points in the process. I think he'll share, he'll tie points with Olsen on 38, but Olsen is closing in on Roan Van De Moosdijk. He's 4 seconds down now. So all of a sudden, I think we're going to see Thomas Olsen knocking on the door of Roan Van De Moosdijk. So here's Evans. He looks like he's got no choice now but just to ride this one out. He put everything in this, tried to stay on the rear wheel, but it'll be a good learning experience for him as well, but wasn't expecting Jacobi to be there when he was. Right, there's Van De Moosdijk, top of the hill. Just behind him is Thomas Olsen, 4 seconds further back. And Olsen is lapping a couple of seconds quicker than the young Dutch teenager. There's the gap now. Oh, Olsen gets an edge at the start of the waves, manages to pull it back into line, but doesn't need those kind of scares with 2 plus 2 to go. Watch this. Oh. Did well to rescue that. Down past pit lane. Last time around, Van De Moosdijk was 1:54.7. Olsen was a 52.9. The gap was about 4.5 seconds between 4th and 5th. What is it now? 54.7, a 53.7, so it's going to be about 3.5 seconds. He is closing in, but is he going to run out of time, Olsen? He could do with those points, those 2 points, to get the championship lead down to 3. As we head into France in a week's time, but he will not have the red plate on the front of the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna when we go to round 7 in a week's time, if things stay as they are. He needs to get to 2nd in order to maintain that, does Olsen. But we can't knock the lack of effort. Well, you can't knock the effort, I should say, for TKO. He won't give up until the checkered flag falls. Prado now 5 seconds, so he has broken free of Jacobi as well. So Jacobi's wait for a win will also need to be put on the shelf for another weekend at least. Nice and smooth through there for Olsen on the Husqvarna. It's the KTM of Prado who leads. Jacobi is 2nd. Van De Moosdijk here is in 4th place, about 9 seconds down on Mitch Evans. What a fantastic ride. His first MX2 appearance this year. Since he's joined that F&H racing team, training with Adam Sterry and Henry Jacobi, under the watchful eye of Mark Ruva, Roan Van De Moosdijk has gone from strength to strength. He won his first race in a Dutch championship in the MX2 class a couple of weeks ago. Doing everything right, and looks like he's going to be a real star of the future as well. Here's Prado, almost 7 seconds clear now of Jacobi. 3 laps to go in MX2 race 2 here in Portugal, and Prado looking good for another 1-1. And his 10th race win and 5th Grand Prix victory of the season. More crucially, that'll be win number 20 for the Rebel KTM as well. Back markers all over the place, involved in their own little battles, and that's going to mess up the run there over the triple for the 29 of Jacobi, just behind these guys here on the Kawasaki. Give you a run down the order then. Prado leads. Jacobi is in second. Evans here is in third, number 43 on that Honda. Fourth is Roan Van De Moosdijk. Fifth, Thomas Olsen, about 2 seconds behind the Dutch kid now. Van Donning is sixth. Chervil in seventh. Sanai, best ride of the year for him so far in eighth. Ninth is Maxime Renault, and 10th is David Puccis, who was on the podium last week in Italy at Mantova, Lombardia. 11th, Mitchell Harrison has got himself back into 11th then on the Bud Racing Kawasaki. Adam Sterry is 12th, Tom Leal 13, Watson 14. He's found his way past the Revo Husqvarna, and Olsen has gone by the number 39 of Roan Van De Moosdijk, moves himself up into 4th, and he could close in on Evans, you know, or could he? No, too far, 10 seconds down. The 2-lap board is out. So Prado, 9 seconds clear of Jacobi. Evans now third. Olsen, yeah, too much time. 9 behind in 4th. There's Van De Moosdijk, he's in 5th. This is still a fantastic ride, though, for the Dutch teenager. With the white helmet, just behind this guy here, Thomas Olsen. Tough day at the office, tough weekend at the office for this kid. Apart from the qualifying race yesterday, of course. Starts have let you down today. Second in race 1. Gave that advantage right at the start of the race to Prado. Can't afford to do that. He drops downhill. He'll know that the championship lead is slipping away, or slipped away. It's down to 3 points at the moment. Prado on 250. Olsen on 247. Jacobi on 193. Jago Geerts will maintain 4th on 170 ahead of Tom Leal, who will be 6 points further back. And then Evans will be up to 6th ahead of Watson, Puccis, Sterry, and Verlanderen. Verlanderen not here. Had an infection in that ankle of his after surgery and after racing last week. He returned home first thing yesterday. He's already had surgery, had the plates removed, had everything cleaned up. But Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, didn't grab the foxhole shot this time around, and had to sit behind Mitch Evans for a number of laps before the Spaniard found his way past the Australian. 1 lap to go then for the number 61. Here's Olsen. Goes through, 6 seconds down on Mitch Evans. He won't give up until the checkered flag. It's going to be a bit of a tall order, but he will keep it pinned until he's told that the race is over. Is Prado coming into view now? Yes, it is. Oh, a little bit untidy there as well. Jacobi, 7 seconds behind as we enter this final lap. Prado won here as well last year, of course. Back marker moves out of the way. So Prado then on course for victory number 20. In the same way that he won this Grand Prix last year, it'll be another 1-1 for the Spaniard on the Red Bull KTM. Comes up to land now. There's a back marker. The next guy in shot just behind this rider here will be Henry Jacobi in second. But another immaculate display of riding from Jorge Prado and Red Bull KTM. Probably the fastest MX2 rider in the world right now, Jorge Prado. Got everything. Style, poise, more importantly, quick reaction out of the start gate. Makes his job so much easier, but he's also, as we've seen, got the will to break people down, including Mitch Evans and Henry Jacobi. Coming out of the final turn, the Red Bull KTM and Jorge Prado takes win number 10. He wins his 5th Grand Prix of the season, win number 20, and now he will take the championship leader's red plate to France in 1 week's time. Jacobi crosses the line in second, 4 seconds further back. Evans, a fantastic ride for him in third. Olsen, 4th. He put everything into that one, but it wasn't enough. Roan Van De Moosdijk comes home in 5th. But for Jorge Prado, he will be the new championship leader as we head to France, round 7. Riders still making the way over the line then. Brent Van Donnick in 6th. Kjer in 7th. Darian Sanai, a good ride for the bike at DRT. Kawasaki rider comes home in 8th. As Jorge Prado celebrates in front of his Spanish fans over on the left-hand side of the circuit. We'll grab a word with him in just a few moments' time, of course. But Darian Sanai, wow, that's a welcome return to form, isn't it? He said he just needs to ride through it. Hasn't scored in the last 4 motos, didn't score in race 1, but he'll be more than pleased with 8th here in race 2. Right, here's Lisa with our winner, Jorge Prado.
Jorge Prado, congratulations. That's now 10 race wins, 5th GP victory, and most importantly, you now have that championship red plate.
Oh, yeah, you know. Oh, yeah, did I get a red plate? Yeah, you know, this was the welcome into this weekend, and got 2 solid motos. Second moto was a tough one, you know. We were pushing very hard till the end. Lucky for me that, you know, the last 5 minutes, these guys in the back kind of got a bit chill, so I could, you know, rest a little bit. But, you know, it was an incredible second moto, and in front of all my fans, it was just incredible.
Congratulations, thank you.
Jorge Prado then. Another 1-1. Another perfect day, this time in Portugal, just like he did last year, actually. But this time he takes the championship lead as well. So Grand Prix victory number 20 for Jorge Prado. Every single one of them coming with Red Bull KTM. Of course, he'll stand on the top step of the podium in just a few moments' time. Official confirmation of race 2 then here in Portugal. Jorge Prado, your winner from Henry Jacobi, 3.9 seconds in the end. Mitch Evans 3rd. Tom Olsen 4th. Roan Van De Moosdijk 5th. Brent Van Donnick 6th. Kjer 7th. Great recovery for him. And then Sanai comes home in 8th ahead of Maxime Renault, David Puches and Mitchell Harrison. A great ride for him. Set his own fastest lap on the final lap of race 2. Check the overall classification then here, round 6 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MX2 Grand Prix of Portugal in Agada. Jorge Prado takes another double moto win from Thomas Olsen and Mitch Evans on the podium for the 2nd time this year. Henry Jacobi 4th, Maxime Renault 5th. Roan Van De Moosdijk, great ride for him, 6th overall. Vial, Sterry, Kjer. Mitch Harrison grabs his first top 10 overall since coming to MX2 this year. 13th in race 1, 11th in race 2. Good, solid day. Of course, he'll go to France next week on a circuit that he does know. Prado is the new championship leader. Olsen 3 points behind in 2nd. Jacobi 3rd. Kjer maintains 4th, but Vial, Evans leapfrog Watson, who now drops to 7 after a difficult day here. 14th in race number 2. KTM lead the way in the Manufacturers' Championship, though. from Husqvarna, Yamaha, Honda and Kawasaki. It's been a great atmosphere here, but who was it that bagged the Fox hole shot right at the start of the race? Let's take a closer look in slow motion, of course. So far, only 2 riders have bagged Fox hole shots. This time it goes to rider number 3, and it is Roan Van De Moosdijk. He grabs his first black plate, his first Fox hole shot. Of course, Jorge Prado has 7, Tom Bial, his teammate, has 4. So out of the 12 motos run so far, KTM have 7, Kawasaki have 1. Good job, Roan Van De Moosdijk and FH Racing, Kawasaki. Of course, Van De Moosdijk turned that into a top 6 position as well in terms of the overall this weekend. See the riders down in the waiting zone getting ready for MXGP race 2, but it's podium time though. Honda 114 Motorsports rider Mitch Evans on the podium for the 2nd time this season. It was round 1. He was 4th actually in Lombardia, but a 4-3 gives him 3rd overall here in Portugal. Second overall, TKO, bittersweet for him, because 2nd overall is not good enough for him to maintain that championship leader's red plate. He had to work hard for it as well. A 2nd and a 4th for 2nd overall for the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider. But your overall winner for the 5th time this year and 20th Grand Prix victory, riding for Red Bull KTM, Jorge Prado. He has won every race he's entered this year. We've had 6 rounds. He's entered 5 of them. He's won all 10 motos. Claudio De Carli, head chef, the boss man. Got a lot of wins under his belt. 89 with Cairoli, 20 with Prado. There's a bunch more in there as well with people like Claudio Federici and Alessio Chiodi and others. But 3rd overall, Mitch Evans proudly stands on the 3rd step of the podium here in Portugal. Great day at the office for him. And Honda 114 Motorsports. 2nd overall, Thomas Kjer Olsen. Always great to have these important dignitaries when we come to MXGP. Of course, couldn't do it without them. But taking his 20th career victory in MX2, Jorge Prado. Wonder how much this trophy means to him, because he has just regained the championship leader's red plate. He lost it after Argentina by default when he got injured. Is he on course for title number 2? Claudio De Carli takes the team trophy. He's got a fair few trophies in his workshop as well, hasn't he? But the championship leader's red plate moves from left to right as we look at it. Out of the hands and off the bike of Thomas Olsen. It's now on the front of the KTM of Jorge Prado. There's your podium this weekend then. Prado, Olsen and Evans. We'll see these guys again in France in a week's time, round 7. Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, goes 1-1 here again for his 5th win of the season. He also takes the championship leader's red plate as well from Thomas Olsen. It was 2nd overall, Mitch Evans 3rd. Talk to those 3 in a moment after the best moments. Anyway, Lee Leyland is down in the wings, getting ready to talk to our top three, of course. A fantastic weekend here for Jorge Prado. Here he is now, your overall winner in Portugal.
Jorge Prado, congratulations. Struggled with the intensity in qualifying, but in those two races today, you really kept your cool. 2 perfect races, and you've got that red plate.
Yeah, I really wanted to win here, both motos in front of all this crowd, and you know, get the red plate. So now that I have it, I will try to keep it till the end of the season. It's not easy, but I'm working hard, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Great weekend.
Great job. Thanks, Jorge. Second overall today, we have Thomas Kjer Olsen. Thomas, well, where do we start in that second race? Not the best start. Again, working your way through the pack. Bittersweet. You've got the podium. You've got some points, but you've lost that red plate.
Yeah, I lost the red plate, but I felt like I rode pretty good all weekend. I just pretty upset about the mistake that I made in second motor. I touched the wheel of Jacobi, and yeah, actually lucky I didn't go down because I went across everybody and got hit a little bit from behind. But yeah, worked my way up again to fourth, which was really good, and I was on the podium here, so that's a good thing.
Good job. Thanks, TKO. Third overall today, we have Mitchell Evans. Mitchell, that second race, you were really on fire. Fantastic start. I know you were leading a few of the laps as well. Couldn't quite hold off Prado, but you got your second podium.
Yeah, I'm absolutely stoked. It was a good start, and made my way into the lead, just a few corners in, and just tried riding my own race. But yeah, unfortunately fitness isn't quite there yet, but we're working on it, and I'm just stoked. I think this one it's set in a bit more faster. The first one was a bit just didn't know what to do, but this one I really appreciate it, and it's so stoked. Thanks to everyone for helping out.
Well deserved. Thanks, Mitch.
The gentle giant, Mitch Evans, then. Third overall this weekend. As you said, he was a bit sort of in a head spin when he managed that feat in Argentina, round 1, but the 15th twice, 7th, 4th last week in Lombardia, back on the podium here in Portugal with a 4-3. All of a sudden, he knows what this game's all about. Good job to him and Honda 114 Motorsports. Thomas Kjer Olsen, though, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing. Nothing wrong with his riding, but he did say he was very lucky not to go down in the first turn after getting hit. But he fought back, responded well. Damage limitation, picked up second overall. He loses the championship leader's red plate, though, to this guy here, Jorge Prado. Another 1-1 for him. Win number 20, his 5th win of the year, 10th race win of the season. He will take the championship leader's red plate to France in a week's time at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Congratulations, Jorge Prado and Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. So the atmosphere then building into a crescendo. We've had some fantastic racing here so far in Portugal. Join us again in a few moments' time, though, when we return for MXGP Race 2. If it's anything like Race 1, then we are in for one heck of a finale. We'll see you then.